All right, let's set this up.
Taylor is the worst driver in NASCAR. Okay, yeah, I said it. I had to be real, and then I have to pretend I like Kyle Largo. Ooh,
right.
strong words.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we are officially live here in the Turn 4
Yeah.
podcast, season 2, episode 29.
Yay.
I'm your host Daniel, and I'm here joined with Mauricio and Anthony. How's everyone doing?
Oh, pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going pretty well as well. We got Darlington happened this weekend, and we got a lot went down this weekend. I gotta say, and starting out with you, Mauricio, tell us your main takeaways about Darlington this weekend.
Oh man, to be honest, I'm gonna be serious. I'm gonna be honest. Since Kyle Busch wrecked, I didn't watch the race until the last 8-9 laps. So, as far as my experience, yeah, it was an awful take. Like everything was going like pretty kind of meh because I saw that Kyle Busch wasn't like running pretty well. Honestly, the racing was pretty cool, but I was in my perspective of my driver because we are in the most important race right now, and him seeing that he's not moving forward. I think like right now he's gonna be throwing trash. He's now very angry, just talking to his driver like I'm driving a piece of shit car, and that's what happened. And then the worst was even to start when Kyle Busch got wrecked. Just running another good day, another race. We are still starting to have a 2020 version 2 right now. Like we just barely finishing a good result at Watkins Glen, and since the New Hampshire scammed, we just had everything but bad luck. And I'm kind of scared of how my next races are gonna be. Unfortunately, I think we had 2 good tracks that maybe he can finally recover because it's been like a month and a half of nightmare right now for the 18, and I'm just hoping we can finally get a win because good results everybody can have, but we just need a win. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but for the what I've seen, going back to the race, like the racing was pretty cool, especially the finish. I never expected to watch that kind of moves that we saw with Kyle Larson last night with that typical video game move. You know, you're trying to just ride a wall and see if you can make work something. And he was almost gonna make it happen, like for real. It was almost gonna make it happen, but it's the playoffs. You have to do whatever it takes to get the win. And Larson was very smart about it. But yeah, so and for the Denny fans, I have a lot of good friends of Denny Hamlin. They are good friends of Denny Hamlin, and they finally got that huge relief like I had last year with Kyle Busch, ended that winless streak. So finally Denny has won here. And what about one of his best tracks, if not the best track, Darlington, becoming the number 1 win list in the active drivers with the most wins at Darlington. So congrats to Denny, congrats to all his fans, especially to my friends. And Kyle Larson still surprising me how good or how smart the guy is. He did what he needed to do. I would say maybe Harrison Burton was maybe gonna do something like that. I was hoping he would do something like that, but he's not like that kind of guy that it's very aggressive. But yeah, pretty interesting racing on this weekend. So we had our first winner, and look out with Denny Hamlin because he's performing, and something that Daniel said last week, he's performing on the right moment.
Yeah, that's right. And Anthony, your thoughts on Darlington this weekend?
Yeah, man. My thoughts on the race, I thought it was a great race. With that 750 horsepower package, it delivered. We saw a lot of great racing. We saw a lot of comers and goers with Kevin being up there and then fading away a little bit, and then Ross Chastain coming in there at the end as well. And yeah, we saw a lot of playoff drama. So I think every single car except for like Denny and Larson, I feel like everybody else had like some kind of trouble. But yeah, I mean it was a great race, and then that last lap, that was a crazy last lap. That was like one of the wildest last laps I've seen in NASCAR with Larson trying to ride the wall right there for the win against Hamlin. So, I mean, I thought it was a great race.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, I've said it time and time again. I mean, it amazes me what Larson can really do behind the wheel. I mean, even though he didn't get the win, but I would have been disappointed if he didn't even try to make any type of move. I mean, yeah, he did end up going to the wall, but I give him credit that he was this type of driver that was not going to settle for second, that he was going to give it his all. And we've seen this several times with Larson, even during the days when he was in that 42 car in Ganassi. You saw how much he got out of that car. A lot of it has to do with the driver skill that he's in. And then with Kyle Larson, now that he's in a Hendrick car, he's been able to fulfill that talent. But Hamlin had the best car at the end. And, Larson having the most dominant car, even though he's had the best car, I think 2 out of 3. Okay. I think 3 out of the last 5 Darlington races, he has had the best car, but he just has not been able to get it done. But, it looks like it was going to be his night, but Hamlin, like I mentioned before, honestly, if you're going to looking for a driver who could possibly give Larson a run for the championship, I think it's Denny Hamlin. I mean, Denny Hamlin right now, even though he didn't win in the regular season, but he had a very consistent regular season.
Yeah.
I think at this moment we're starting to see the peak of Denny Hamlin. And honestly,
I hope
this could be a championship year for Hamlin in a way, because I feel like if you look back in 2010, if you look back in 2019 and 2020, we were all hyping up how this is his year, this is finally his year. But this season, we haven't really talked about Hamlin being a championship favorite. And honestly, I feel like this could be one of those moments where Hamlin might finally get that championship, but I feel like it's in a way where he's kind of that sleeper pick at the moment. And I got to say, we did see a lot of playoff drivers who had troubles. We saw William Byron and Alex Bowman making contact. Alex Bowman got into the wall. Byron got into the wall, cut a tire down. That both ended their days. Kyle Busch making contact with Austin Dillon, breaking out. And, we saw another typical Kyle Busch interview where he pretty much called out his own team. He called out his own team for not getting their stuff together, saying his car ran like shit, excuse my language. But honestly, it's a typical Kyle Busch. I mean, it's pretty much a typical Kyle Busch that we've seen this weekend. And Mauricio, I mean, kind of, since you're a huge Kyle Busch fan, what was your overall take on this incident?
Man. I've been saying that there's a few people that they have the balls right on their underwear to say what he said on the interview, because I don't believe those people that how they get their interviews. Like, there's a very few people that I believe that they are not really that explosive, because I feel that there's a lot of people that they can be even worse than Kyle Busch is. Like, Kyle Busch, he's a guy that he expresses his emotions how they are. And that's what people hate about him, because people don't want to face the truth. And that's something. You hear me, haters? This is something for you. You are not agreeing that Kyle Busch says what he feels because you call him a crybaby. Now I'm going to ask you, why you're complaining about a guy complaining? Doesn't make you a crybaby like him? For real. Like, let's be honest.
Cherie, if you're watching this.
Cherie, this is for you too. That's for you too. That's for a lot of fans. RC Racer 88 and all the Chase Elliott fan base. I'm calling every single Chase Elliott fan base that they talk shit about Kyle Busch. And I'm not even afraid to get you by all 100,000 fans. I don't give a shit. I can still beat you. Like, for real. Like, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to say that you're the worst. Like, especially the Kyle Busch haters. Like, do you look even more stupid than Kyle Busch? And I say that Kyle Busch has done a lot of stupid moves in the past. But you have done things 10 times more than what Kyle Busch has done. even in his worst year, like I would say 2011, like that insane Kyle Busch, like the dark one. Like he was a Kyle Busch that was able to rake a regular season trucks driver that he was fighting for a championship. Kyle Busch was just fighting for wins, and he was able to do that. Imagine that. Like if Kyle Busch was capable of doing that, I've seen a lot of people being mad that Kyle Busch having fun on a weekend, for example. Like, what is your problem? I know it's an off topic, but what's your problem with guys having fun? Like, you don't have fun? You're not a person that you get mad? You're not a person that when you lose, you get frustrated? Don't tell me that you're those person that they are going to take the situation like a guy that he's very chill. Like, I don't fucking believe you. So my take is that, yeah, Kyle Busch did something uncalled for. I think he took his frustrations with the incorrect people, with the cones especially.
The cones, yeah.
With the cones, pretty fun memes. Have you seen the cone memes? They were pretty funny. But yeah, but the things that I say, and I've been saying over and over again, is that the haters of Kyle Busch are the worst people I've ever seen in my life. Besides people hating Kyle Larson. Sorry. So yeah. I don't get how people, like, it's funny because there's a lot of people that they still don't get move on of the Ron Hornaday incident, the Dale Jr. accident. For fuck's sake, that's 13 years ago and 10 years from the Ron Hornaday incident. They still freaking saying it until this date.
Mm.
And as people, they don't want to believe it or admit it, but Kyle Busch is not the Kyle Busch of 10 years ago. Yeah, he has done a lot of things, but I don't think he's going to be able to wreck somebody again like Ron Hornaday. Like, never.
I mean, fun fact, though, that he almost lost his ride at Joe Gibbs Racing. He almost lost his sponsorship with Mars, if you think about it.
Yeah. Like, do you think he's going to do that same mistake and lose probably his best ride? Like, no. Kyle Busch, if Kyle Busch was able to do that again, he would not be even racing the Cup Series.
He'd probably be in late models right now, just doing late models.
So I don't still get it. Like, people like those stupid comments, like, they are stupid comments. Like, oh, Kyle Busch should be banned forever from NASCAR. Oh, he's just a fucking cancer of the sport. Oh, he's just a... For fuck's sake, man.
Okay, I'll add on to this, though. As much as you guys don't like Kyle Busch, NASCAR needs a driver like him. I mean, think about it. I'm gonna be honest. Look, you guys. Here's the thing. I mean, you know, Dale Earnhardt. I'm not comparing Dale Earnhardt to Kyle Busch, but if you look at driving styles and the way their personalities were, the way they spoke their mind, look, I'm not trying to trigger any Dale Earnhardt fans, or I'm not comparing. But Dale Earnhardt was kind of that type of driver that you guys always ask for. They ask for, a driver with personality, but when they get it, they complain about it. And that's what kind of one of the issues we've had with NASCAR fan bases is that they ask for this, but when they get it, they complain about it. And I mean, and to get to my main point is that with Dale Earnhardt, you know, they talk about how great he was, but when he did those same things, but when Kyle Busch does it, it's a big deal. Or when Kevin Harvick or Denny Hamlin or Keselowski, you know, they do it, they complain about it, but they don't complain about when Dale Earnhardt did it or Rusty Wallace did it or you name it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I'm telling you, the reason why people don't accept Kyle Busch is that there's a lot of things to factor. Like, he wrecked in twice the most popular driver. He did, I tell you, the typical 2011 Ron Hornaday accident, the 2010 Texas race when he threw up the finger. Like, there's a lot of things that Kyle Busch has done, and obviously it's understandable. People are not going to like him, but the way that you're saying that Kyle Busch is going to be, that NASCAR is going to be better with Kyle Busch, you're wrong. Like, absolutely, you are wrong. NASCAR Xfinity Series is not going to be the same with Kyle Busch on the track.
Even Brandon the Plumber said it. If you guys have not seen the Turn 4 podcast episode with Randy the Plumber, make sure y'all check it out. But
Yeah.
he did bring up some good points about the Xfinity series. And honestly, with Kyle Busch, not being back in the Xfinity series, the Xfinity series is not in a pretty good place right now in terms of a superstar status right now that we have in this series. And Randy the Plumber did bring up some good points about that too. If you guys haven't checked out that episode.
Yeah, definitely. So I will tell you, like, people, you got what you wanted. Kyle Busch is no longer racing in the Xfinity series. Now, I really hope that you support the series, because if you don't, then I see that you miss Kyle Busch. Because there's a lot of people that want to be, but Kyle Busch, always in your heads, like, why people talk about like Kyle Busch? That's how important a driver is for the sport. No matter you're talking about possible in a positive or negative way, Kyle Busch is always in the mind of somebody. That's how important a driver is for the sport. Chase Elliott, that's a name also that a lot of people talk about. Yeah, because he's something important for the sport, as much as how good or bad driver he is. But Kyle Busch, there's a lot of better things than bad things that he has done. Maybe you will appreciate it once he's retired, but I would say the day you appreciate it like that, I would say you have missed a lot about him. And I know that a lot of people will do that, and I'm totally sure that maybe more than the 50% of the people that during these years, they throw trash, they throw dead notes or dead threats to Kyle Busch. They are gonna miss him the day he retires. And I hope, and this is gonna be the last thing. This is gonna be on my last call on the haters. This is my last call. I'm never gonna mention these people again. So this is the last time I will spread my word about all of you. But I hope that you regret and not appreciating Kyle Busch as a driver, and you're more attacking his behaviors more than his driving skills, because there's not gonna be another Kyle Busch again in your lives. Like, you're not gonna see another Kyle Busch, another wheelman, another driver that at a level of Kyle Busch. Never. So keep in mind, guys. I just hope, man, that you have that thing in mind, because the day he retires, the last, maybe most important drivers of our sport, because we have a lot of good drivers that they are gone. Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Dale Jr. Like, look at those drivers. Kyle Busch is maybe one of the last drivers in that huge name list that they are very important for the sport. And
we still have guys like Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, Ryan Newman, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr. I mean, we still have those guys left. I mean, but if you think about
they are very close to those last years. They are in the last years, just like, because Kyle Busch has a lot of years to come, but those drivers like Harvick or Hamlin or Truex, those guys, they are very close to retirement. If you think about it. And Kyle Busch, yeah, we have a lot of future, but they are not. I think they are important for the era, but we're talking about important eras in the old history. Those guys like Truex, Kyle, Kurt, those drivers are the last ones. And when they are gone, you're gonna see how the sport is gonna have hard fact to have superstars. And I've said it all over and over again. Mm-hmm. So if you're keeping your take of this of being a little bit rude with Kyle Busch's aptitude more than his driving skills, I just want you to think about it. Because I'm telling you, once you're driving, you're gonna be regretting to not appreciate his talent or his driving, because he has done a lot of impressive things during the years. Yeah. So yeah, that's my last thing. That's my last take, bro. Because for real, that's a topic that as hard as you can believe, but it's a topic that I don't want to talk. But sometimes when I tell you, and I told him to Daniel before the podcast started, like there's some takes that made me lose my patience, and I had to respond because there's a lot of people say you shouldn't have said something. If I don't, people there are gonna think I'm a coward or I'm a person that I don't really have nothing to say. I have a lot of things to say, and a lot, and this is just a little part. But as I'm telling you, that's the first and last thing. I'm gonna say that for today, and yeah, that's my take about this situation of over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was it. So yeah, I didn't want to go too long to this topic, but I think it was necessary because of how the situation. So I'm saying I'm not cheering for the Kyle Busch actions, but I don't feel that a lot of people are overreacting just because it's KFB. That's my takes.
Yeah. Anthony, anything else you want to add on to?
No, I think Mauricio just said everything that had to be said with Kyle Busch. Obviously, that's his driver, but yeah.
I mean, I'll add one more thing on. Honestly, I'll admit, back when I was younger, I did hate Kyle Busch. But over the years, I've started to really respect him, honestly, for him as a race car driver. Because honestly, as much as during the years or of me growing up not liking Kyle Busch, I've started to learn to appreciate him. I know there's times I roast Mauricio, but honestly, I respect the hell out of Kyle Busch. I mean, he's definitely an incredible race car driver. He's definitely a one of a kind for sure. I think, there's very few race car drivers. I mean, there's been a lot of race car drivers that come and go, but for drivers to have, the personality or to have a personality, to be able to speak their mind without, being afraid what the others are going to think, or, having that passion to win races, or having that passion, showing that passion when you lose. There's no other drivers more than Kyle Busch that shows it the most. And honestly, the sport is not going to be the same without him. He's one of the last few that we have that is definitely that makes people want to watch the sport more. And honestly, Kyle Busch, I mean, honestly, he's an incredible race car driver. He's accomplished a lot of incredible things in the sport, and there won't be another Kyle Busch once he steps away, but Kyle Busch is an incredible race car driver. I definitely enjoy seeing him on the track a lot. And especially, racing against drivers like Kyle Larson, like Chase Elliott, like Ryan Blaney, like Martin Truex Jr., like Hamlin, Harvick, Logano, all these other drivers. I mean, he is definitely he's a one-of-a-kind driver, in my opinion. And honestly, Kyle Busch, in my opinion, I do agree that he should be more appreciated more for his driving style. I mean, yes, some of the things he's done off the track I don't agree with, but honestly, when it comes to him as a race car driver, I mean, he is someone that he's always a threat to win each and every weekend. But I mean, that's kind of the thing I'll add on. But yeah, so it's just some things that definitely that needed to be said. Yeah. All right, so since Denny Hamlin finally got that elusive first win of 2021, he's now officially locked into the round of 12. So meanwhile, I'm actually gonna screen share the playoff standings. All right, so Now Denny Hamlin is officially locked into the NASCAR into the round of 12 of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. And like I did mention earlier, we had some playoff troubles for playoff drivers such as Alex Bowman, Kyle Busch, William Byron, and Michael McDowell, who wrecked in the backstretch on, I think, lap 30, I believe. I think it was a little earlier, but I don't remember where. But anyone with the chat, let me know. I gotta say, it's gotta be either a must win now, or they're gonna have to they have to either win Bristol or have a good finish. That way they will not be in a must win situation. But asking you now, for you guys, which drivers do you think should panic heading into Bristol and Richmond?
To be honest, I would say, like, I think the guy. I think of the 4 guys right now. The guy that doesn't need to panic is Kyle Busch, definitely, because we're coming for the next 2 weeks to probably the 2 best tracks. So I would say a track that Kyle Busch is very good at, and that's Richmond, and especially we're coming to his playground, like Bristol, like Kyle Busch at Bristol and Richmond. That means he's gonna be definitely a winner contender. So if I'm gonna say that the guy that doesn't have to worry unless something crazy happens is Kyle Busch for definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take. So Kyle Busch definitely doesn't have to worry about the next 2 weeks unless something bad happens at Richmond. But I know that he's gonna be even smarter. But if you're gonna tell me Kyle Busch is gonna go furious, like Kyle Busch, a furious Kyle Busch, I've been saying a lot of times, it's a double dangerous Kyle Busch as a driver. Because how Kyle Busch manages to get wins when he's mad, when he's insane. He's maybe one of the few drivers that takes his anger and uses it on his driving skills. Like, he makes it even better. Like, he makes look like an incredible driver. Like, he can bring the worst car he can ever drive in to victory lane. Look at Pocono.
That's why you never count out Kyle Busch.
Yeah. So I would say definitely Kyle Busch is gonna get very inspired in the next 2 weeks, especially Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm gonna say a driver that's gonna be more than hot coming in the next 2 weeks is definitely Kyle Busch, because we're coming to 2 tracks that Kyle Busch knows how to drive and knows how to win a lot. So, but the drivers I'm gonna say that they had to panic definitely is Michael McDowell, because he was definitely a guy that we know he wasn't going to make it to the first round. So I know that how the situation is for him. I think it's almost at 100% clear that he's not going to make it to the next round, but definitely we're just going to have to see how the next races are going to be for him. But another bad result, he's more than done for the next round. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
driver.
Right now, I am looking at Alex Bowman right now. I mean, I think he's definitely a driver that does need to panic. Now, I have more on Alex Bowman over William Byron. I feel like Byron might have a much more better shot to advance than Alex Bowman, and here's why. If you look at some of his stats, I mean, if you look at Alex Bowman, yes, he did get a win at Richmond, but honestly, if it wasn't for that last caution that came out for Harvick, I think Hamlin or Logano would have been in victory lane. But if you look at Alex Bowman's stats at Richmond and Bristol, they're not that very good. I'm gonna be honest. Alex Bowman has not really been that great at Richmond. If you look at some of his stats though, for Alex Bowman, besides that win, he's only had a top 10 finish, which was at Richmond, which was last season at the fall race. So that's kind of been his only top 10, but the rest of the stats that he has at Richmond, not too good, besides the win and the 9th place finish he had last season. And right now I'm actually looking at his Bristol stats. Same thing with Bristol. He's ran better, but I don't think it'll be enough for him to advance. So I think at this moment for Alex Bowman, it's either you win or you're out. And I'm saying for William Byron, he might have a better chance because the fact that he's been more consistent than Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman right now, he has a potential. He could make a round of 8 run, but it's just the consistency for Alex Bowman. I mean, yes, he has 3 wins, but there's times where Alex Bowman is just too inconsistent to even be a part, to even make it past the round of 16, even the round of 12. I just think that Byron just has more consistency than Alex Bowman. I think with Bowman, they need to clean up that consistency and run top 10, top 5, even start contending for wins more frequently in these next 2 races. I mean, honestly, I could see another inconsistent run for Bowman at Richmond. But for Byron, I could see a top 10, maybe a top 5 run, unless like if Eric Almirola or Tyler Reddick do not run well. But that's what I most likely see.
What about Kyle Busch? Do you see him being definitely a winner contender in the next 2 weeks?
No, hell yeah. I think, Richmond, we know how good he is at Richmond. He's won at Richmond. He's had 6 wins at Richmond. Best average finish out of anyone. Bristol, we all know at Bristol, we all know that's his playground at Bristol. We all know how good he is at Bristol. So I do not count him out either. 8 wins at Bristol, most out of any active driver currently. So he was leading the last few laps of the race at last year's fall Bristol race, but then Harvick caught up to him in the last few laps, and Logano being a lap down car was in the way. So I wouldn't say don't count out Kyle Busch these next 2 races, but I think, and then with Michael McDowell, I mean, honestly, well, what were you gonna expect out of Michael McDowell? I mean, besides him making the playoffs, what else were you gonna expect? Yeah. But I think the one you should be concerned for is Alex Bowman.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. Also, a funny fact about Kyle Busch. The last win of Kyle Busch, not only he swept both races at the Cup race. Like, who doesn't say that Kyle Busch can sweep Cup races? He did it back in Richmond in 2018. He won both races from the back. Like, no, not only from the front. He won from the back, like back in the mid 30s. Both races from the back, and he won those races. One of them was actually on my birthday. That's the crazy. Last time he won was on my birthday back in 2018. My birthday is September 22nd. 2018, Kyle Busch won on that race. That was crazy. And to be honest, that's one of my favorite wins of Kyle Busch due to the fact that it was hitting on my birthday. So that was a pretty special day for me. So, yeah. So that's his last win. And it was on the playoffs, too. He won at Richmond on the playoffs. So Kyle Busch, he has won at the playoffs there. So, yeah. So that's totally the last take. So Kyle Busch, like Daniel said, don't count him out. 2 good tracks for him.
Yeah. Anthony, what do you think or which driver do you think? Which driver do you think people should start panicking for? Currently looking at these playoff standings.
Yeah, I think I see 2 drivers, and it's Tyler Reddick and also Eric Almirola. I mean Alex Bowman too, but I feel like yes, Kyle Busch will advance. I think Byron will advance. Michael McDowell, I think he's in a must-win situation. But for those drivers, Alex Bowman, yeah, he got the win. Last time they ran, he got the win by getting a lucky caution. But I think Alex Bowman has speed in his car. I think Alex Bowman and William Byron and all the Hendrick guys, I feel like they can run good at Richmond just by the speed. And as far as Tyler Reddick and Eric Almirola, I don't know. Eric Almirola doesn't really have the speed to maybe go up there and contend for the stage for stage points or even like a stage win. And then Tyler Reddick, the same thing. He might be up there, in the top 10 fighting for stage points and all. But from what I saw at Darlington, and even Reddick after the race in his interview, he said, he was saying that, even when they were bad, they were not even, that bad how they were at Darlington with speed. So that's kind of like a concern for me that I have with him. And then, yeah, so like as far as those, I'm looking at those 3 for Richmond, just based off of speed and what we saw at Darlington. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough battle for the last spot right there to see who's gonna advance and who's gonna be out of the be out of the playoffs. But I think yes, I think Eric Almirola and Tyler Reddick should be concerned because you never know. I mean, the Hendrick power and all that stuff, they have speed and all. So it's just a matter of fact if they can put the race together and and contend for the win or for even like a top 10 or a top 5.
Mhm.
So,
I think
yeah, man, I'd say Almirola or Reddick are the ones who should be panicking.
yeah, and I think for what I see as well, I mean, Brad Keselowski right now currently, I mean, before the playoffs, I mean, I kind of had him being out of the round of 16, but right now he looks in a pretty good spot to make it past the round of 16, but he's not fully guaranteed in. I mean, if he ends up having a problem at Richmond or Bristol, I mean, he can still fall out. But honestly, I mean, Brad Keselowski, now talking about Brad Keselowski, I honestly don't think he has that same speed he had last season. I mean, yeah, last year he dominated Richmond, but he's not that Brad Keselowski of last season, where he was one of the best drivers, last season, especially with that 750 package. But right now, besides Ryan Blaney's 2 wins, right now, Team Penske does not look like an elite team right now. Their drivers right now, besides Blaney, aren't really performing at the level they were last year. And I think that's very concerning. I mean, yeah, Brad did run well at Loudon at the 750 track. But if you look at Brad Keselowski, I mean, in the spring race, he finished 14th, which honestly is not terrible, but I just don't think it will be enough for him to really advance. I mean, unless he has a problem at Richmond or Bristol, I still think Brad Keselowski should be in concern based on his speed this season and based on the fact that this is a lame duck season for Brad Keselowski at Penske. I mean, and I think that the fact that, him leaving Penske at the end of the season to go to Roush, I feel like that's kind of becoming a distraction for him. I feel like he's kind of taking that mentality where technically I have nothing to lose. I mean, he's going to have a ride for next season. So I feel like Brad Keselowski is he's not really trying to really be a championship contender, but that's kind of the way I see it right now with him.
And you're not wrong. Like we've seen maybe a lot of not only in NASCAR but every single sport. Like there's just those different vibes that definitely we see in drivers. Like they know that they have a different team. So I think it's all about maybe a strategy for the teams as well. Like this driver is not going to be with us next year, so they just also don't want to these guys to pass information or have information that they can be able to use on their new team. So that's what it's all about. And definitely, obviously, with a new, obviously that you have another mentality for your future. And that's something that definitely we're seeing on Keselowski right now, that because he knows that he's having a new team, like he's going with a different team next year, he's definitely with another mentality, like he's getting focused on next year, like the next gen car, or it's just that mind change. Like you're not focused. And it's something that we're seeing on Keselowski maybe right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, it's happened for a lot of drivers. I mean, we've seen several drivers who knew that they weren't going to be back with their teams next season. I mean, I look at Carl Edwards right now. I look at Carl Edwards in 2014, but I feel like Brad Keselowski right now, he's kind of having that Carl Edwards type of 2014 season where right now, where their cars aren't really running well, where I think, 2014 Roush was not really, that was kind of like the beginning of their downfall. And I think with Team Penske right now, they're kind of not really championship contenders right now at the moment. But I feel like right now, the fact that for Carl Edwards in 2014 back, it was his lame duck year. I feel like he just wasn't really considered a championship like a favorite. And I think that's kind of similar way I see it with Brad, where I feel like he's just kind of taking it more conservative instead of being one of the favorites right now. So I kind of see it in that way, and I kind of seen it with other teams where I think, for example, I look back, for example, I think with Matt Kenseth leaving Roush or with Harvick leaving Childress. I mean, all these drivers who have left teams, who kind of had that kind of distraction that was in the way. But I mean, that's how I think it might be one of those cases where I think, it's kind of typical where you see a driver, knowing that they're leaving their team, they're kind of like, they don't really, not in a way, I'm not saying that they don't care, but in a way, it kind of seems like they're not really going for it. But I mean,
Yeah.
all right. Any final thoughts?
Well, that's what it is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know how the silly season becomes, and yeah, definitely some drivers they get. Sometimes maybe some drivers it's good to have a fresh change, and definitely help some drivers their careers or maybe the start of the end. So we don't know. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely there's a lot of drivers that they have a lot of mentalities or people thinking about next year. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna get on to the next topic, but ready to get on to the next topic. So right now, there's been a huge rumor going on Twitter and on Instagram about NASCAR possibly moving to the LA Coliseum for the Busch Clash, possibly next season. Which honestly, in my opinion, I honestly feel like it's not a good idea for the sport or for the way to promote speed weeks. Honestly, I honestly don't. I mean, yes, they've raced in like Soldier Field before, but honestly, racing in a Coliseum in LA where technically you're literally a week before the Daytona 500. Honestly, I don't see that plan working. If they're even going to go for it, I don't see it lasting long term, to be honest. I honestly feel like they should have at least stuck the Busch Clash at least at Daytona. Oval, road course don't matter, but it kind of takes away that hype for Daytona for the 500. It takes away that anticipation, for Daytona. For years and years, we've had the Busch Clash, we've had the Daytona 500 qualifying, we've had the dual practice, duels, Xfinity, no trucks, Xfinity, and then the Daytona 500. So it kind of takes away the purpose of Daytona Speed Weeks to kind of build up that hype for the 500. But with you, Mauricio, and Anthony, what were your thoughts of that possibility of NASCAR possibly going to the LA Coliseum to replace Daytona as the Busch Clash?
I think I should let Kyle. I think I should let Kyle Busch to say that. To be honest, like in the interview, like if you see Kyle Busch's interview in some part of his interview, I think you understand. So yeah,
Anthony.
All I gotta say is we're going to LA, boys. No.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, I mean, dang, that's kind of tough, man. I mean, it honestly, it can either work out or it can just go down the drain, man. If they're gonna try it, they're definitely gonna try it next year. But I mean, I told Mauricio that I do like being at the Oval in Daytona for speed weeks and all that, even for like the Clash and stuff. Because you're right, it does build up the the excitement for the Daytona 500, and like the duels and all that stuff. But I think for NASCAR, I think it's just a new publicity stunt. They want to get they want to get a new fan base. They want to bring in new fans to the sport. And I mean, if you bring NASCAR to LA, it's in the heart of LA, man. It's downtown, like near downtown LA, the LA Coliseum. If you do that for a Saturday night short track race, I mean, it can work out. It may not. But I think NASCAR will go with this route. I don't know if it'll be next year, but it'll definitely be soon. But
My take is that maybe next year, because the next gen car is less than a year, like not even a year, less than a year to starting on the track, or like getting the real season 2022 starting. So I can definitely see getting that tryout, how the new car is coming. So, but but it's like Daniel said, it's like a huge risk. Like, or it goes good or it goes bad, but bad, like for real bad. So I think they are putting a lot of money with that. But if they don't, like really, the thing fakes up. Sorry guys, just because sometimes I get very hard to talk in English because it's not my main language. So yeah, my take is that if things don't work, like NASCAR is gonna have a serious problem after that, because it's something that is taking more than a risk. That's like a huge game, and if it doesn't work, NASCAR is gonna have a serious problem entering next year, because not only the next gen car is coming, but they're gonna have another bad take. And something that NASCAR doesn't want is get something bad expectations for next year. So
I will also the thing I want to add on of it in terms of having the Busch Clash at the LA Coliseum not being a good idea, but honestly, for those teams that travel hours and hours to go from different cities, from different states, almost the entire year, literally 10 months a year. If you think about it, majority of the race teams are located by the Charlotte area. So if you think about it, if they're going to do the Busch Clash in California, and the fact that the Busch Clash is literally, the Busch Clash is part of Daytona Speed Weeks. That's what starts out Daytona Speed Weeks. And like I said, it breaks the tradition. But if they're going to do the Busch Clash, you're going to have to get at least 2 transportation haulers to get to the track, because usually on average to go from Charlotte to Daytona, on average, it'll take up to 8-9 hours to get there. Now, if you go to the Charlotte to California, going by with the haulers, it could take almost 2 days, or literally 26, 27 hours. I'm not too fully sure yet, but that's what on average. Honestly, and then after the race, you're going to have to drive back to Charlotte, which is going to be almost literally 24-hour drive there, then get the cars, then go to Daytona for qualifying. Honestly, I don't see it being a good idea. I mean, I'm a more simple person. I like to keep things at one place, kind of set up, the whole weekend of a big event. Honestly, it'd be better to just stay at Daytona. Oval, road course, don't matter. Keep it at Daytona. Honestly, I see it very complicated for the hauler drivers, or for the travel, for the whole team that is going to travel all the way to California to Daytona. Honestly, I see it's too much of a task. It's a lot. Like, I wouldn't say too much, but it's an extreme task for these hauler drivers. I mean, honestly, and then all the hours, the hard, like all the work they put in just to, to drive these haulers into track each and every week. Honestly, I don't see how it's going to work out. The fact that, it's Daytona Speed Weeks, they call it Speed Weeks for a reason, because they spend the whole week at Daytona. Most of these drivers get to Daytona 2-3 weeks before the Daytona 500. So honestly, it's a very difficult task if they're gonna take the Busch Clash to the LA.
Yeah, and also like how the season has worked right now, like they put the Daytona road course and they put Homestead on the same first races. So that's like almost more than a month on Daytona. Like they don't have to travel for a month.
Yeah, and I like I said, I mean, in terms of the schedule change, I like the idea that they do with the West Coast swing. It's easier for teams, that way they won't have to travel back and forth, and that's kind of the main concern I have with this possible move of NASCAR moving the Busch Clash to Los Angeles area.
But you don't think that this is like a double moral, because they're saying that they're trying to save money, but now they're trying to make The fucking Busch Clash on the
Just-
stadium in Los Angeles. That's a fucking double moron, man, for real.
I mean, I don't understand
How-
NASCAR at times, man.
I don't know how
they
NASCAR
talk
can
about
do this.
the next gen, making, race teams to buy race teams cheaper. And I feel like with them doing the LA Coliseum, they're trying to turn it into like a demolition derby. I mean, is this the goal? I mean, is this the goal they're trying to reach?
NASCAR
Yeah.
is no longer gonna know as NASCAR. We're calling it NASCAR Derby. See how many cars they can wreck in less than 3 hours. Like, for
This
real.
makes the actual demolition derbies look better.
Yeah. I hate.
go-
I,
just go to a
honestly,
local
bro,
tra-
I
just
hate
go
this
to-
new generation for real. I hate this new generation. I hate it.
I mean,
That's
some
my
of the,
take right now.
I mean, like I call it the TikTok generation. So, I mean, these TikTok generations, the D'Amelio generation, whatever I call it, their attention spans, they have a 5-minute attention span. I'm telling you. I mean, they're not gonna sit there for 3 hours and watch a race. I mean, we grew up in a generation where we watch NASCAR probably in NASCAR's golden era, 2005 to 2006 to 7 era, NASCAR's golden era. We grew up in that generation, but for them, especially for people like them, some of these people seem to watch NASCAR more for the wrecks than more of the actual racing or the
Or you
actual
can
product
watch-
that goes
you-
on the track.
Like you can watch like what he's meaning. Just go watching the titles of the videos of NASCAR. Like you can, that's a really great example. Like you don't know why people go for wrecks. Now look at the videos of the title videos on YouTube. Like, for example, Kyle Busch survives at Trinity breakfast at I don't know which track, or
Ricky Stenhouse
huge
Jr.
wrecks at Daytona. Like for real, like
Yeah.
bro.
I mean, take Riley Herbst to a demolition derby. I'm sure he'd love it there. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's
He
my.
learned it from his crush, Danica Patrick. So yeah.
Oh, that's a pretty good statement. But I mean, honestly, for those people that they just want to see wrecks, just go to a demolition derby. I mean, you'll get
Yeah.
everything you want from there. I mean, honestly, the purpose of motorsports is not for crashes. It's for drivers going at it, side by side. I mean, especially NASCAR. I mean, that was its purpose, seeing the best drivers in the world race head to head, side by side, beating and banging. That's the purpose of the sport. That's what the sport was built on, hard racing. Drivers going side by side, battling for the lead, not giving an inch. I mean, that's the purpose of the sport. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be real blunt. But if you watch NASCAR just for the crashes, you're not really a NASCAR fan. I'm gonna put it.
Not
that
even
way.
a motorsports fan for real. Like not even a motorsports fan.
Yeah. I mean, based on that purpose that NASCAR's trying to go for, if they're trying to go just for the entertainment and for all the gimmicks, honestly, this makes IndyCar and IMSA and even F1 look even better. I mean, if you look at IMSA, IndyCar, and F1, their purpose is
Well,
for the,
to be honest, F1 is in an even worse shape right now than NASCAR. So NASCAR is in bad shape. F1 is in an even worse shape right now. So I would say only IndyCar or other sports. But Formula One, if you want to talk about these
Hell,
races,
World of Outlaws,
F1 is the first one.
hell,
F1 is the first one.
I'm gonna be honest, I've been getting a lot into the World of Outlaws though.
Yeah, I think there's other better series than
Yeah.
NASCAR and Formula One right now. So
Honestly, for any of y'all watching, man, I encourage y'all, to go to a local short track, man. You'll see some pretty good racing there.
Go to go see some Monster Jam.
Yeah, for real. Go see some drag racing or something at Route 66 Raceway, but they were close.
Oh man, you know how much I want to see drag racing? That's sick. Those type of racings, like
Yeah. Honestly,
imagine NASCAR using NHRA. Like they're gonna restrict the cars to go over 200 miles an hour.
that ain't going in well, man. Look, NASCAR needs to stick to their identity. And that's one thing I've been saying about NASCAR. NASCAR, I feel like NASCAR is kind of forgetting where they came from, what the purpose of the sport was. NASCAR has been mostly trying trying to become something they're not. NASCAR needs to be themselves. That's what made the sport great, is that NASCAR was a unique sport. It was different from the NFL, different from the NBA, but it seems that NASCAR's been trying to go that route to gain that popularity. And like I've been saying, I mean, if they want to go back to that popularity, it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, for NASCAR to get to its golden age in the early 2000s, it took years for them to get to that popularity. So don't expect the sport to be popular by tomorrow. It's a long process.
Yeah, that's like, I know that there's other more popular sports, but also we have to keep our uniqueness.
Yeah,
And just don't try to screw it up like we are doing it right now. And we've been screwing up the sport for a lot of years, because this is not something from last year. This is something like has been starting since maybe 2011 or 2012.
14, somewhere around there. 2015. Yeah. All right. So we're getting ready to go to the pit stop round of the Turn 4 podcast. But before we get to the pit stop round of the Turn 4 podcast, we'd like to give a shout out to Lionel Racing, the official diecast of NASCAR. If you're a NASCAR fan, please, if you're a NASCAR fan, any fan of your favorite driver, check out Lionel Racing. Check out your local retail for 164 and 124 scale diecast. Check out NASCAR.com to shop any of the newly released 164, 124 scale diecast. Check out the new wave of the NASCAR Authentics at your local Target and local Walmarts. As you guys can see, today for this weekend, I am repping Jeff Gordon's 2014 Drive to End Hunger car from 2014. Honestly, this diecast, it does bring a lot of memories for a lot of Jeff Gordon fans. I mean, especially 2014 was kind of his last great year as a competitive driver before his retirement year. And I know Anthony has a lot. I know this scheme definitely does bring him good memories, but also painful memories for sure as a Jeff Gordon fan.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, by the way, now that you're saying a huge shout out, I want quickly to say a huge shout out to some friends that they have their own podcast as well. Well, a little bit space Twitter called Penske Passel After Dark. I think that's the Twitter space. So I want to say hi to all my friends on Twitter. I don't really have every single name, but I just want to give a huge shout out to all my friends on Twitter. I love you. I will see you. Maybe I will be with you for later, because I have school tomorrow, like real school. Like I'm gonna go finally to my university. Yesterday was a pretty tough day. I'm not gonna lie. I'm going a little bit off topic, but yeah. Yesterday I couldn't sleep. Like Sunday, I wake up like 24 hours. So it was kind of insane. But yeah, yesterday I got my first day back in my university, and tomorrow's gonna be my second day. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to get a little bit things go better. But I think we here in my place, like COVID cases have been grown up a little bit again. So yeah.
Yeah, and
but yeah, once for all, thanks to Lionel Racing, like you said, creating a lot of diecasts. I'm also talking because I know that I only have one diecast, so you don't have to mention it. I know people know that I have only one diecast in my whole life.
Send diecast to Mauricio. So
hey, my birthday is close, guys. My birthday is close.
His birthday's coming up. So if y'all want to send him diecasts, just hit us up. And we got Anthony. He is repping William, his boy Willie B.
Yeah,
repping that Exalted Fluid scheme.
I like that.
So we're repping 24 today.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna give a huge take about William Byron. My favorite basically William Byron was last year's 500.
Oh,
the blue-orange flame car. For me, for my take.
Recently, I got this.
That one's a good one.
I got the Rainbow Exalta scheme from this season. This is a very sexy, beautiful scheme, and I also got 2 new diecasts actually from Target. So I did get that one, and I did get the race-winning Coda car, the Lumar car. The Chase Elliott number 9 Lumar cars. So yeah, so three beautiful diecasts that I have, 2 new ones that I got from Walmart, from my local Walmart, and
repping Hendrick Motorsports right here.
Yeah,
we're all repping
repping Hendrick Motorsports, and this is not really a classic, but this diecast was from
I love all
6 years ago.
the paint schemes that Jeff Gordon ran when he was driving.
Yes,
I like them all equally, except there's one that I really love. It's the classic, the blue and red flame DuPont Chevrolet number 24. That one right there is.
Hey, William Byron.
Time.
Next year, please. You have to talk with your team. You had to bring back that blue flame Jeff Gordon car, like for real. I know it's still like quite recent, but you have to bring that car. That car is now a classic.
Yo,
definitely, Henrik, think of it. I think you will really make a lot of money with that one.
Yo, I mean, I think for William Byron, they got to bring that Jeff Gordon DuPont scheme from from the early 2000s as a Darlington throwback. I would love to see that.
Yeah, definitely.
I would love to see that. I mean, I would definitely get that diecast for sure.
Yeah.
So shout out to Lionel Racing. Like I mentioned, check out your local retail for 164, 124 scale diecast. Check out NASCAR.com, LionelRacing.com, and go search for the new NASCAR Authentics wave at your local Walmart and Target. So thanks for the shout out. Appreciate y'all for creating all these amazing diecasts. And now let's get back to the pit stop round of the Turn 4 podcast. All right, so a few news to discuss for this week. So Chris Hacker set to join Nice Motorsports for 2 races in 2021. Races have not been announced yet, but they should be announced in a regular day. So it's good. It's good to see him get this opportunity. Let's see. Akinori Ogata making his second career Xfinity Series start at Richmond. We already mentioned this one. Possible exhibition race at the LA Coliseum to replace the Busch Clash at Daytona. We've already gone our takes on that. Beer Motorsports will attempt to qualify into the 2022 Daytona 500. Driver still has not yet been announced, but my assumption is probably Noah Gragson. But it's good to see Beer Motorsports going at it again next season for the Daytona 500. Matt DiBenedetto and Wood Brothers Racing, they will run a Don National Suicide Prevention Lifeline paint scheme at Las Vegas. So they're definitely adding a lot of support. I'm looking forward to see how that scheme looks. Eric Jones will be running a 9/11 tribute scheme at Richmond. And as you guys know, this weekend will be 20 years since this tragic day since this very tragic day happened, especially definitely a dark day for America for sure. And I will get into this topic in a bit, but since a lot of us were already born at that time, I was only 9 months old at this time. But Mauricio and Anthony, how old were you guys in 9/11?
Well, I think I had a little experience of my parents because my mom told me that I was almost getting 2 years old at that moment,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom told me that she was really afraid of what she was watching because I think it was I think I have to ask my mother again, but I think she was watching the TV. I think she was like that live coverage of the Twin Towers, and there was one in flames, and I was like, my mom was too scared. Like it was a very she said I couldn't imagine how the experience was, and she saw how the second plane just crashed into the other Twin Tower. It was like a very bad, horrible take, like a nightmare take of how bad that 9/11 attack was. So definitely it's a good honor now that I think we are getting exactly Saturday 11th, I think is the race.
I think. No, what's today? I think.
Let me check.
No, today.
Tomorrow is 8th, 9th, 10th.
Oh, yeah, it is Saturday. Yeah, Saturday.
It's
yeah,
Saturday.
so it
Yeah,
is gonna
the cup
be
race is going to be
day.
running on the 9/11. Definitely, I would say it's like a very, I will see that that 4 white salute to the 9/11. I hope they make something great because I think everybody's going to have like patriotic schemes. I will see like that 4 white salute. So it would be definitely a very good, definitely they deserve a good honor, like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like this year today, like the 500, like 20 years since 20 years since Dale Earnhardt passed away. Like everybody with the number 3 on their finger. So those kind of beautiful moments, man, and they deserve like to be remembered. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like all the respect and also like also respect for the people that unfortunately passed away, and definitely a very day that a lot of people will never forget because it was something that changed the world, definitely. Like a very important take of the world.
Yeah. Anthony, how old were you in 9/11?
9/11. I was 2 years old when that happened.
Yeah,
So,
you don't. I'm sure you don't remember. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Do
I don't
you
remember.
have memory of what happened?
I don't have memory exactly, but once I started growing up and everything, I started looking into everything, going on YouTube, everything that that happened with the 9/11. And yeah, I mean it's really sad. What happened that day. A lot of people passed away from it. So it's something very touching for for America and everybody. And I'm pretty sure NASCAR is gonna find something to honor all those lives who passed away, and in memory of everybody there. I know, like I said, I don't have enough with whatever happened that day in 9/11, but I'm sure it was really heartbreaking for all the families that went through it. And I just hope right now they're in a much better place. And yeah, I'm pretty sure NASCAR is gonna do something to honor all the people that unfortunately passed away, and to all their families. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, I really do hope they do some type of tribute. I mean, the fact that it's the 20th anniversary, I mean, a lot, it was definitely a sad day for America, I mean, and also, it's also for those, that were there to witness it, that help, for like police officers, paramedics, firefighters, that passed away as well. I mean, for them, I look at them as heroes. I mean, they were there doing their job to protect everyone, and they died being a hero. And honestly, I feel like they deserve to be they should be given the respect that they should. I feel like they deserve the respect for what they do, risking their lives for all of us. And I look at them as heroes. I mean, and yeah.
I agree with that, bro. I agree with that.
Yeah, right. Definitely a day not only that changed America, but definitely the world.
Yeah. All right. Kyle Busch fined $50,000 for safety infraction at Darlington Raceway. We've kind of gone over that a little bit earlier, but honestly, at least it was not a points deduction or a 1-week suspension, how some people thought. But I mean, like I said, I understand Kyle Busch's frustration, but he kind of did put the other people that were there in danger, that could have possibly gotten hit by him. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how he does these next 2 weeks. And I think we got one more thing to cover. Yeah. Shave Logic will be sponsoring both Spire Motorsports cars at Richmond this weekend, and that will do it for the pit stop round of the Turn 4 podcast. Now we got Richmond coming up this weekend. Meanwhile, I'm going to pull out the entry list for this weekend's race at Richmond. Let me just screen share. All right, so we'll be running at Richmond for the 64th running of the Federated Auto Parts 400. Salute to the first responders. All right, so Quinn Half will be in the 00, and he'll have trucker application. Kurt Busch will have Monster Energy. Brad Keselowski will have Western Star. Austin Dillon still has yet to be announced his sponsorship for this weekend. Kevin Harvick will be in the number 4 Hunt Brothers Pizza. Kyle Larson will be in the number 5 HendrickCars.com. Ryan Newman will be in the number 6 Oscar Mayer Bacon. So it's not Winnie Wagon, it's Bacon Wagon then for this weekend. Corey LaJoy will have Shave Logic, as I already mentioned during the pit stop round. Tyler Reddick still has yet to announce his sponsorship for this weekend. Chase Elliott will be back in the Kelly Blue Book Chevrolet for this weekend. Eric Omarola will have Smithfield / Tuesday's Children. Denny Hamlin will have FedEx Ground. Ryan Blaney will have Advanced Auto Parts. He'll be running the black and yellow scheme for this weekend, as fans voted what scheme they wanted to see run for the playoffs, and it will be the black and yellow scheme. Chase Briscoe will have Cummins / Rush Truck Centers. Joey Gates will be in the number 15 for Rick Ware Racing. He'll have Donate Light Virginia. Chris Buescher will be in the Fastenal car. Kyle Busch will be in the regular M&M's car. Martin Truex Jr. will have Bass Pro Shops, the red, white, and blue scheme. Christopher Bell is gonna run DeWalt Salute First Responders car. So this Bell is gonna be running a patriotic scheme. Matt DiBenedetto will have Menards / Dutch Boy. Joey Logano will have Shell Pennzoil. Bubba Wallace will have DoorDash. William Byron will have Liberty University. Michael McDowell will have Love's Travel Stops. Ryan Priest will have Kroger / Crest. Anthony Alfredo will have GoldenNuggetSports.com. Cole Custer will have HotStooling.com Demo Day. Ross Chastain will have Moose Fraternity. Eric Jones will have Petty's Garage. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is going to have NOS Energy Drink. Alex Bowman will have Ally. Cody Ware will have run a special 911 scheme. Josh Balicki will have a fire truck scheme, I believe. JJ Yaley will have Fat Boy. Funny sponsor, weird ass sponsor. Justin Haley will have Shave Logic. BJ McLeod will have Keen Parts, and Daniel Suarez will have Good Sam. And that will be the entry list for this weekend's race at Richmond. All right. So now we have gotten the entry list ready. So now we got Richmond this weekend. We'll have the Xfinity Series and the NASCAR Cup Series. So we're going to get on to our picks. And Anthony, start with you. Tell us your Xfinity Series picks.
So for Xfinity, for my main pick, I have Justin Allgaier. For Justin Allgaier for Xfinity for my main pick. And then are we doing bold picks or the underdog picks or just
bold pick?
Just bold pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are not in the playoffs with Xfinity.
Okay. For my bold pick, I'm gonna go with Jeb Burton.
All right, Mauricio.
Okay, my main pick, I'm gonna have to say Harrison Burton. That will be my main pick. I think the 20 car, very good. I think a short track's been very solid. So I think this year has been winless. I'm kind of surprised about that, but maybe he can finally get that first win. I mean, we saw Hamlin won his first race. Why not Harrison Burton? And my bold pick, God damn it with this driver, man. God damn it with this driver. But like a team that hasn't won a championship in years, I still have hope for this driver, so I'm going to choose again Daniel Hemric.
Okay. All right, so my main pick for Xfinity Series, he won last week. I think, I think this gives him a lot of momentum and confidence heading into this weekend, and I say he'll go two in a row this weekend at Richmond. Noah Gragson. So, yeah, so he's my main pick. And bold pick, I'm going with Junior Nation. I'm going with Dale Earnhardt Jr. If you look at the way, two things. One, his last Xfinity Series win came at Richmond in 2016. And 3 years ago in 2018, when he drove the Xfinity race, he led majority of the laps, finishing fourth. Honestly, that type of run, I got to say, watch out with Junior.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're now going to the Cup Series. So, Anthony, give us your Cup Series picks.
All right, so for Cup Series, my main pick. So this driver right here, he has 2 wins at Richmond. Since 2014, he's only had 2 finishes outside of the top 10. And those were 14th in 2018 and 11th in 2019. The last 2 trips at Richmond, he's had top 3 finishes, with both being 3rd place finishes. He had a decent run at Darlington last week. And my main pick is none other than Joey Logano.
All right.
And then for my, is it bold pick?
Yeah, bold pick.
For my bold pick, I have Kurt Busch for my bold pick.
All right. Non-playoff pick.
Non-playoff. Oh dang. Shoot. Non-playoff. I'm gonna go with Ross Chastain. I think he can back up his finish from Darlington last week. So Ross Chastain.
All right, Mauricio.
Okay, so my main pick, I stated on the start of the podcast. This guy, he doesn't care if he loses that much money. He's a guy that knows to drive very well. He's gonna come in hot. We know Kyle Busch, double time aggressive. We know that he's a guy twice as dangerous as he normally is. So he's gonna be my definitely main pick. We're coming to tracks that he knows how to win. So he's definitely my main pick. It will be a huge crime to not choose him as my main pick. And my bold pick, I'm gonna have to go to maybe with a guy that is very hot. Definitely the best regular season driver. I would not be surprised that he wins also this weekend because the best drivers are always the most consistent. So I'm gonna go with Kyle Larson. Like, why not? With the number 5 Henry Motorsport Chevrolet. By the way, which car is driving Kyle Larson this weekend?
HenryCars.com.
Henry Cars, okay. Then my playoff pick, I think last year this guy surprised us during his playoff station. This year he's not in the playoffs, but he's a guy that had a very good run last year. And definitely, I would say that he will be definitely a winner contender if he has that same run as last year. Austin Dillon.
All right. So for the Cup Series, my main pick, I'm going with this driver who won here 4 years ago at the fall race. And like like Mauricio did mention, he's coming in hot in this first race of the playoffs and still continuing to be consistent. Kyle Larson, I think Kyle Larson will get win number 6 this season coming at Richmond. Bold pick, I'm going with last week's winner, and he's also a 3-time Richmond winner, Denny Hamlin. I think he's going to get redemption after what happened to him in the spring race. And non-playoff pick, I'm actually going with Chris Buescher. Even though he's not in the playoffs, but I say expect possibly a top 10, maybe a top 5 run from Chris Buescher. And yeah, so that will be it for our picks at Richmond. And let's see, I'm gonna check to see anything in the chat. Looks like we got no one looking at the chat. We got 2 people watching. Let's continue increasing that viewership, people. All right, so I think that should do it for the Turn 4 podcast. I just want to say thank you so much for all you people who are watching this Turn 4 podcast. Subscribe to the Turn 4 podcast channel. It will be on the link. The link will be in my bio on my Instagram and on my Twitter. Make sure you guys follow Mauricio and Anthony on Twitter, on Instagram. I will put their links in the description below as well. And yeah, I just want to say I appreciate you guys for the support each week. It definitely motivates us to keep going. You guys are the reason why we're doing this. Just a bunch of dudes talking about the sport. And yeah, Mauricio and Anthony, anything you guys want to add on before we wrap it up?
Yeah, well, just like the one thing to say that.
Oh, go ahead, Mauricio.
Oh yeah, just a quick take to say that you should take you have to be a little bit reasonable with the fact that you hate some people. Like, I understand there's a lot of drivers that they are not like your most favorite drivers, like, because we all have our least favorite drivers, but there's not a reason to say stupid shit about some drivers because as much as I hate a driver, I don't want to wish him the death or wish him that they go bad in life. Like, that's a really what a mediocre person would do. So really just be reasonable. You're gonna say, hey, this thing you didn't do, this thing he didn't do right, but doesn't mean that you have to send them death threats or being racist or whatever. So I would say that people, you should be more smart on your words, and yeah, just don't bring that hypocrisy or that moral or that bad takes of people. We have to have respect for something. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Be respectful, people.
Anthony?
Don't break the negative environment. Be positive, at least be respectful with people.
Yeah. Anthony, anything else you want to add on?
I just wanted to say thanks to everybody that's watching and that support the podcast and everything. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
All right. Yeah, we appreciate all the support, and we will see you all next week.